know,
That left one's loose.
Drake,
Right.
on the other hand, he
Now I
got
see
50
why.
Cent. Because, you know, 50 Cent, he's another culture vulture. And Eminem, you know, people want to say that Eminem's not involved. He's involved, but he's sneaky. He's behind the scenes. He's acting like he's cool with K-Dot and everybody else. But no, he's against K-Dot too.
Well, listen,
And Snoop Dogg can also. Yeah.
look, man, I do believe at the end, and no, you're fine. You've always given us great points. You're the one that kind of opened up a lot of this for us because I definitely wasn't paying attention to J. Cole and K. Dot allegedly sniping at each other at the time. But listen,
Hip-hop is credit.
yeah, just to be real with you, man, look, it's big money Drake on the table, and I can respect it. You know, when we start seeing the other stars and the planets, you know, moving towards that gravitational pull of that black hole known as Drake, because he's big money Drake right now. You know, even for the so-called intellectual elitism, that would include Lupe. Look, don't lie to us and try to, you know, gaslight the public as if it was something else. You know, because when a real conversation get a chance to come up, and it's not about you hating on Kendrick, because if you notice the whole exchange, we didn't say he was hating on Kendrick. We wanted to get into some real questions. And then you were the one that are out of character. That makes you look sus to the general public. And again, I get it. I can move on from it. You know, sitting down, we talked about this before. At the time, during the height of, well, at least the beginning of the Kendrick Lamar and Drake hot battle.
Hello, guys.
We did say it was going to be his worst move to move against Kendrick culturally. People was like, it don't matter. He got the hit. That is the wrong nigga. That's not the same thing right there. And then as Kendrick Lamar starts taking him deeper into Louisiana bayou, and Drake is all the way up to his braids, his little foot braids. He's like, I can't breathe, right? You know,
Right.
then moving on from that, the people, because they did, I'm the Hiroshima bomb, folks. You know, Euphoria, okay, that's hip hop. Meet the Grams, okay, it's a little bit of Long Kiss Goodnight, Edgar Allan Poe energy, fine. The Hiroshima bomb, not like us. That is the one where they said, okay, this is officially doing brand damage here. And based
Right.
on what is promised for what Drake is supposed to deliver, of course this is all happening. And the people that are not a part of that, the people that are not streamers, the people that are not Twitchers, the people that are not, you know, affiliated with the academics, they're not running around with WAC 100, they're not in the games camp, they're not in 50s camp, the people that are not in these spaces, these are the people that are looking at this and saying, what's going on here? You know, in the reality of the situation, it is a consolidation of an industry. Clearly, if we can see this, if someone is granted this particular level of prestige with a direct partnership with UMG, I ain't hating on the hustle. Then we see out of nowhere that they say, all right, let's go ahead and put everything on the line concerning Diddy, out with the old, in with the new. I ain't saying Diddy's innocent. I believe a lot of that shit went down with Diddy. Also, we saw how, even listen to how Ice Cube had to move around here. Listen to some of his conversations of his funding for the Big Three. Right?
So
I heard that interview with Ice Cube saying about P. Diddy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
I heard that interview.
So that's
Yeah.
good. No, this is important to read to watch.
Yeah, and then look at still what Suge Knight is saying from behind bars. People forget Death Row Records, the industry also, just like it did with Barry Gordon, it repackaged a lot of its business acumen off of what Death Row Records was able to do at that time. $300 million in 1 year. All of your artists are going multi-platinum.
Right, and then just to add to a point too, this is why we allow everybody to speak here on Dark Heart. Some people may say, well, Night Night's going too far. He has that right. There are people who call in who could be pro Drake and we don't care. Like you got Ming James saying this live been going on since Element E.
That's funny.
It's clear Drake put Kendrick in a body bag and J. Cole dancing on the grave. Now, and we like a good sense of humor. Like everybody in here laugh, whether we think they're being silly or not. If it's funny, it's funny. But Night Night has been on point for a really long time. He's the first one, and not enough hip hop media platform give him credit, he's been telling everyone that there was a beef with J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick, and that Kendrick was going to come out with an album, and Kendrick had this and that. Unfortunately, though, we live in a culture where people want to always be the smartest person in the room. And I'm not talking about just Lupe, where people don't want to give people credit. My ego is not wrapped up in how intelligent you think Prince and I are. It's very important that we stop having this egotistical mindset when you can't give people their flowers. If they're in your audience, just like we gave Doms came up with the possibility that maybe the Summer Vibes thing was Drake alluding to Lupe Fiasco. And we gave her credit on that. We have a lot of people in hip-hop media, they just take from each other. They'll bite up talking points. They don't give flowers to the audience members who come up with great ideas and stuff. And we have to stop that. If you really want to be a community, you have to show it through action. But go ahead, Night Night. You have the last words before we let Ellie call into the platform.
Right. The industry is showing themselves. Like, that's why Ice Cube is panicking, because I believe he's involved in those mansion parties. And the wonder why Tupac made that Machiavelli album, because he was at Illuminati, because he was trying to expose the industry, and that's why K-Dot's 6th album, he's going to do the same. And guys, remember in the chat, he has 10 more disc records on Drake in the industry. Just to let you know, those 10 records is going to be put out. K-Dot he's going to go all out, man.
All right, so that's the Night playing.
All right, we're going to be dropping that Kendrick Lamar video soon pertaining to the whole industry and the album. Thank you, Night for calling in. We have Ellie who's supposed to be calling in. She's someone who knows Lupe Fiasco. She usually be in his spaces to delegate the conversations and to be the non-biased person there.
What's the area code for her?
All right, let me ask.
Make sure I get the number.
Big Homie is already on Twitter, on X. Big Homie, can you let Ellie know that we're ready for her to call if she still is there? Let me message Big.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, she said 3 minutes ago. Can she call? I said yes.
Go ahead, call her.
You can call. I'm gonna give her the number right now. And there we go. All right, Ellie. You can call in now. I sent you the number. It's in the message. Thank you for messaging us, by the way, too.
Yeah. Shouts to Ellie. The Machiavelli album is fine. It's actually one of my favorite hip hop albums, to be honest with you. For other reasons, So. But all right. What else we got in the chat? Youngest need to be like that. Niggas in the game, and Lupe too talented for the bullshit. Hey, Lupe is entitled to that. That man is entitled to his own opinion, just like I'm entitled to mine. And I think, like I said, civility is based on, are we okay with the disagreement? Because fine, look, we probably ain't gonna come to an agreement anywhere, other than just being civil.
Just like y'all in the chat, Prince Solomon and I have to have teeth because the industry is cutthroat, so it's alternative media, and you're in a situation where there's a lot of sabotagers and all that other stuff. But we're not people who are just out here wanting war and to cut down people in our community. It's like we said before. I wish that Diddy was different. For example, I wish he wasn't the tyrant was. I wish he was really about black businesses and all that. But we live in reality that he wasn't, and he harmed a lot of black people. So
put me in position.
you got to be balanced with all of this.
I'll take care of this.
Some New York goons calling in. Y'all don't know it. When Diddy fired y'all, I said, this is the shit we talking about. Dumb shit. So that's what I said. A lot of times it's just dumb shit. It's casual dumb shit in the culture, and it's okay. But no, absolutely. There was nothing. I wasn't even going off. Sin didn't even go off. We was keeping it PG, right? But
I was trying to keep it PG.
Yeah, but man, outside of that, look, folks, you just have to be able to keep moving, and we hope you guys are able to see the exercise. The exercise and the performances that goes on with things that happen in the industry. You guys know this is an election year. Big stakes on the table. You got someone looking and say, hey, bro, I'm about to break up this Constitution. And you see some of your favorite hip hop people move kind of funny. Like, bro, why you running with Candace Owens? What's up with this? Well, why y'all saying? Well, why? Yeah, like Sam was reading me something the other day about black men, and somebody was saying that I hope white women learn their lesson, and now, my only fear is that black men are something that they won't get it. And I was telling Sam, I said historically, black men have overwhelmingly voted Democrat along with black women. So, even this campaign, this divisive campaign, how somehow they're trying to fault black men. Black men ain't getting up in them trees on water towers and shooting at presidents. They trying to figure out, can I vote? Or if they didn't get a chance to make it to the vote because they probably got some overtime somewhere. But realistically, people are always trying to dictate to the general public their opinions. It's like the creation of the Gallup poll. The Gallup poll is nothing more than it's supposed to create a direct in their opinion. That's exactly what they talk about in Tragedy and Hope. They talk about it in Brave New World. And I would be remiss to not educate the public. It's not in hip hop. It is in hip hop. It's all over hip hop. In fact, you see some of the most Orwellian media propaganda spin zoning in hip hop.
Prince, Ellie says she just called last. Do you see her number? The number the very last number. She said she called, and it went to voicemail.
Okay.
Don't say the number. Just see if we make a mistake with.
What time did she call? Just how about that? What time did Ellie call?
Let me see. Try 202. It was at the time 2:02 p.m. What?
Just feel like you're at this church. Yeah, the last call I see was at 147. Tell her to call again or message the number. Tell her to text the number.
Okay, do we see a voicemail either, maybe? I think she said the call went to voicemail.
Have her to text that number, love. Just have her to text it. It'll be easy for me to do it. I'm looking at the voicemail. I don't see it.
She wants us to come back to the space.
No.
And give a chance. She said that Lupe will be more open and the audio will be better and let me see. Yeah, she just said that it will be better.
I'm all right, Sam. I'm moving on. I'm all right. I have to move on. Because if you're doing a double dutch thing, is she the moderator versus Joker? Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe he's.
Yeah, that's what the point. Big Homie in the rest of was saying that usually Ellie is the moderator, and usually things are smooth when she's the moderator. But this time around, she wasn't there, and because of that, that's why it was all over the place.
What do you all think, chat? I'm gonna let the chat vote say. They said don't trust it. They're saying no. They said I don't believe Ellie. They said the chat
Ellie is following us, but we'll wait. We'll take up the invitation another time because we are tired now. We've been on here for like 5 hours, whatever.
Damn,
but Ellie, we actually appreciate you. It was very civil.
Appreciate the sister. Thank you so much, Ellie. And again, even Ellie being directly, that's her homeboy. Prince Solomon does not hate Lupe Fiasco, but at this point in time, player, I have to move on. Okay, all right. That's just what it is. If the transit's lined up for a better date some other time, it could be a bad fucking transit. I don't know.
Yeah, if y'all want to plan for it tomorrow or something, we'll do that. And again, right now, like we said, we're not dropping no anti-Lupe.
We don't have no campaign or anything like that. We do have the right to.
Prince does have a roasting audio on our Patreon, but we'll keep it PG for right now. We'll keep it PG.
Even then, listen, I'm telling you this real quick. I'm speaking directly to the chat and to the people. I don't care. I cared at the moment when we was on the space. I was interested. But my attention span creatively, it does flow elsewhere now. I have to move on to other things. We got things to cover with this Kamala Harris and Heritage Foundation and Trump, and we got to talk about all of this other deep state shit.
About Killer Camp Kamala.
We got a lot of other stuff to cover. The moment was what it was. Outside of it is nothing more, nothing less, and I can respect Lupe can have his own opinion. I got my own fucking opinion. Charlie, I just don't care. But I do love the sister, as a lot of women and ladies will do in the community. You know, they definitely do the unification thing. But at this time, Sid and I, we about to get up off the microphone. We've been on for 4 hours and 22 minutes. We did a little bit of, we did a lot of overdrive, but these were definitely unique circumstances. Moving on forward, we had our opinion. Again, let it be known, sincere ignorance and Prince Solomon, or you Lupe Fiasco, because listen, I'm tired right now, but Lupe Fiasco, there ain't no hate campaign against no Lupe Fiasco from Thought Crimes, okay? To let that be known, nobody's up here to tar and feather Lupe, and nobody's here to flex no online street shit. I think a lot of that shit is corny. Outside of that Playboy, that's where it is, okay?
I know what the ones who say yes to do, like make it a viral moment and stuff like that. Look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Yeah, could we make it a viral moment by being ignorant? But there gotta be some hip hop platforms that have some type of integrity. Unless Lupe does something for us to drop the video and for him to get flamed, we have to show some integrity, because people want us to sabotage Lakeith when he came on our show. And I said, no, we're not doing that.
No,
I mean,
they did want us to do that.
Like, yes, would it have been a viral moment? Yeah, but that says something to the culture if you can't make something viral without trying to set up another black person. Like, you know, that shit is corny. So,
also,
you know,
I do want to make a statement. Shouts out to
you can't just always go viral just by setting up the one.
Yeah. Facts.
I will say this. I am tired right now.
That's what Queen's Foot is starting to realize.
I don't have any more energy concerning this particularly exhausted subject, and the only reason why I'm saying it is because
I ain't gotta do
it was
stupid
a
stuff.
circumstance.
Everybody
We
still
did
gonna
go
like
there. We did fire it up. We did show up there, and I have no problem. Sometimes
Every
you
once
keep
in a
people
while,
on
cool,
smoke and it
but-
ends up better, right? However, though, at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, Sin is tired. I'm tired. To be honest with you, been here for 4 hours, and I will say this. The only time it would actually happen, folks, and this would be a conversation. I don't know how Lupe Fiasco overall engage with the women versus the men. Some people say Sin, go over there. I'm going to show you something real quick. Men in hip hop specifically, you have to learn to deal with other men that don't share your opinion. Because some of you all are, you guys are altruistic when you're around beautiful black women, or you're around black women in general, and we can have those conversations. But if a man is disagreeing with you, holy shit, it is war. You're talking all over the nigga. It's we can get into some street shit. So for this, if anything does happen, depending on what takes place in the foreseeable future, Sin and I will be there to address the situation.
y'all have it marked. We're here for peace. If Lupe's, y'all say he's talking shit. I mean, if he keeps talking shit, then, we'll just release Prince roast him. But right now, we'll give it a chance for peace, and it's not about ego shit.
You listen, I don't even want to, right now at this point in time, I want to prep my mind into eating something, but I'm not even prepping my mind into, because actually I could have just been on real bullshit showing up into that chat. It could have been a hustling ass nigga and take it into a viral moment. The same thing with Lakeith Stanfield. Shouts out to the beautiful brother. He showed up. He wanted to talk about Two Tones and what was up.
Same thing with Carl Jones. Didn't try to sabotage him or nothing.
But I'm going to say this. I'm not doing this sissy shit. You either learn to disagree with another grown man and stop all of this side shit through women and females, if we want to use a scientific terminology. You talk to another man with respect. Stop trying to control other human beings. That is what I didn't like about the conversation with Lupe Fiasco. I was very fair to him. I even was quiet when he was talking about, I'm about to smoke these niggas. I'm about to cook these niggas.
Which was fair, because he was roasting, so we didn't have a problem with that.
I didn't care. That's why I said I was fair to that situation. But all of this other shit, or let's get the sisters to unite and have the queens talk, fuck that shit. I don't like that. You learn, that's the problem with Drake and conflict and being avoidance with men. That's the issue. That's what the beautiful sister brought up concerning hip-hop. There are a lot of men that are conflict avoidance when it comes to other men.
Yep.
And That's what I don't like.
Yep.
No Chief Keef shit.
I come straight
Chief
to
Keef
you.
made
What's
you
up?
cry. So let's
I
be
ain't got
real
no
about
problem.
it. And that's not
I
a
ain't
shot
got
at
no-
the
I'm not
Queen.
trying to hurt you. I
I don't
wanna know
do
what's
that.
up.
Sin knows how I operate. As a man, you either talk to me directly, we can have a conversation. You don't get nervous. You don't think I'm trying to get one up on you, create a viral moment. I know people do clout chase. Prince Solomon ain't one of them, and Sincere Ignorance ain't one of them.
And to your point, no, I'm not dissing Ellie or nothing like that. I think that's corny.
I got no
If
time.
No.
Lupe is her homeboy, people have personal relationships. You know, I'm not gonna diss
Right?
celebrity sister or cousin.
No,
or
not
shit.
interested.
Not interested.
I don't do that.
You know, she was being very cordial.
I'm sorry.
She's being very sweet. There's no issue there. And you know, go ahead, Prince. You wanted to continue your point.
I'm not going to have a run at the end, but I'm just making a statement. No, I don't like that. That's not cool. In fact, it was when I was talking to him. And again, I've seen that chat. I do notice a pattern with the men. And this is, you can't be like when some of the fellas get mad about what the DNC does. Like when Tiffany Cross told the black men to shut up and get behind them.
Or Joy Reid too.
And Joy Reid, how she talks to black men.
Black men
right?
have voted Democrat. I don't know why the white women and men voted for Trump the first time around in a large margin.
You got Charlie Kirk in the far right calling black pilots criminals. So why would I want to sit with another black man? And because of the vessel that I'm in, he's hyper triggered, he's hypersensitive, he's upset,
I used to be a
he's
hypersensitive.
angry about
ass nigga.
something.
That nigga's
I was
called a
even
bitch.
jousting
I
with
used to
him
be a
at the
hypersensitive ass nigga.
Brother, like, what
That's
is
called
what we
a
doing?
bitch.
But I don't want to do all of this stuff and like, oh man, like let the queens get together and they talk first. They're not our mothers. They're not our mothers. You're a grown ass man. I'm a grown ass man. You can talk like you got some sense. So that's my particular statement.
Maybe next time y'all
concerning this.
talk one-on-one, I won't be there. maybe one-on-one, you know, or
Lupe needs to not have anyone else on the stage.
But he has an impulse though. That's why he usually has somebody, and to make sure, you know, that the conversation is being well balanced. But to your point, can he control that impulse to let you finish and then
What's up,
have
y'all?
a cordial conversation?
Look,
Oh shoot, we
I
got
don't
some.
know his medical condition. Maybe he
What's
has
going on? Good afternoon. Good
neurological
afternoon. Hold on, let me check these.
Maybe there's a compulsive that I don't know concerning Lupe. If that is the case,
Let's go.
look,
Let's
folks,
get
moving
it.
on forward, I'm not going to really have too
Every
much more
second's an
commentary
opportunity
about
to get some
anything.
kind of
Lupe's trending
swats or
tomorrow, and
something.
people feel like he's saying some dickhead shit concerning Kendrick or anything else. I'm going to move on forward. But, you know, if there's something else going on with the man, because, look, I'm not going to lie, it did feel like there was some other shit going on with Lupe outside of the controller, possibly. I can be open to that. But what we're not going to do is when queens get together. I hate that. That's like conscious space. Deals, I've done it, Sin has done it. But if you cannot, in that moment, have a better temperament, player, you meditate, you do samurai martial arts, you know.
I mean, he did say he had a chessboard. You should have been prepared.
But you didn't even, okay, not even preference. Let me tell you some of the reason why y'all saw me keep my cool with that, right? Come into your space, you preface the conversation about the dig into these niggas' chest, perfectly fine, whatever, right? If that's what it was, if he was just saying, I want you to just get on some roasting shit, we're gonna do this, that, and third, that's perfectly fine. But then when I started doing it, he was getting more sensitive. That's why I said no. I don't have time for that. That's like somebody that, yo man, let's slap box, and then next thing you know, they trying to get 3 of their homies to jump you against the damn waste management dumpster in the back of the project. So that's why I said this is my point, and this, to the Queen's point that called in earlier, this is the thing I don't like about the Drake, Aubrey, OVO, whiny, crybaby, poo-poo diaper pants culture.
The worst ones.
All right, so I'm gonna leave it on that note. Y'all, you guys have been wonderful for sticking with us for this 4 hours or so. We're gonna make sure the recast is gonna be up there. Again, there ain't no hatred concerning Lupe Fiasco. Shouts out to the sister Ellie for trying to reach out in that manner. Sincere and Ignorance and I, we're about to move on and do some other things. Y'all can visit our Patreon for our podcasts and things of that nature.
I'm still open for that audio being dropped. If Lupe starts talking shit again, that audio is going to get dropped because fair is fair in roasting and jousting.
And I'm a very patient Scorpio. Okay, so I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not even.
Well, y'all should get along. He's with the Scorpio Drake.
One is a bit soft. There's another situation.
I'm trying to.
We're not
One is
real
a bit of a himbo. Drake is a himbo. Okay, we have a caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to Thought Crimes.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? What's your thoughts on this conversation? You got lucky because we were about to end the show.
Yeah, I've been trying to call for a while, but I'm glad I finally got through y'all. So as far as the Lupe thing, just a little bit on that, but I think I kind of want to more so touch on the fact that I think a lot of rappers are jealous of the fact that they were not able to do probably what they wanted to do, as far as like nobody really calls out people that they really don't like, and they don't really call out rappers that they have a sincere dislike with and are able to have that type of back and forth where it's like that high profile and that evenly, where everybody is pretty much given an even platform. And so I think that a lot of rappers who feel like they're great rappers and even may feel like they're better than Kendrick, they never was in this situation that Drake and Kendrick were in. So I think a lot of them kind of look at it like, man, I could have done that, or I would have done this and that. And I think some of them feel like that. And I don't think that, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's a part of what's bothering them. But also, I do think what they don't want to admit is a lot of them couldn't do what Kendrick did, as far as like skill-wise.
I get what you're saying. No, I actually.
Even down rating, damn, if you really look at it, damn has so many layers to it. No wonder it won.
Look, I'll just say this, and I want you to continue with your excellent points, because sitting up, we actually touched on that. It's kind of like you see two guys fighting, and one guy gets the best of the other guy, and then you hear that one guy in the corner, yeah, man, you would have smacked me like that. You know, it's like that's what it kind of felt like. That, you know, they didn't know how much of a glorious victory it was going to happen for Kendrick Lamar publicly, the global sensation, the trending, and we do know, particularly with celebrities and rappers specifically, attention to them is like crack cocaine. And a lot of times, you saw with the Control verse, let's be real, everybody, with the exception of Big Sean, with the exception of Big Crit, excuse me, everybody responded to Kendrick's Control verse because it made so much noise. Everyone responded, but their names weren't in that verse. It was everyone whose names weren't in the verse, you know, for the most part. So I get what you said, but no, I don't think, I can't see anybody being as effective as Kendrick Lamar in that moment. It was literally specifically tailored for Kendrick and Drake in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a shame when people who look like they should get along don't, you know, but that's, you know, life. And also just the you know, I actually, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar being unassuming and having people doubt you and all that other stuff, you know, I think a lot of people are mad because Kendrick proved his point, and he did it in a way where there's no more doubts about his performance capabilities when it comes to tailoring records for battle emceeing and all that other stuff.
And I think a lot of people really didn't listen to Kendrick. Like, when the problem is, Kendrick came out with Good Kid, Mad City, and they really, a lot of people, like fans and artists, really misunderstood what he meant by Good Kid, because you have a lot of people arguing that, man, Kendrick is this nerd who never did nothing. He ain't you like, even when Drake put out, oh, I know who really banged a set and all that type of stuff. So a lot of people are really, that don't really listen to music like that, they don't understand that when Kendrick was saying he's a good kid in the Mad City, he's not saying he's a good kid because he never did anything. He's speaking for the culture of the children that grow up in those neighborhoods that actually have did some shit but didn't want to do that shit. But that's what the life, like, that's the life they was given, and that's what they lived with. And so Kendrick, being a true artist, was able to, I feel like, he being a true artist in itself is what, to me, kind of make people kind of look at him.
You gotta have something to look at,
differently,
you know?
or kind of showing him
we're not used to that. People, we're not used to true artists no more. We're not used to people that are making music, great music for the sake of making great music, standing on it, whether it feels or not. Mr. Morale and the Big Together was not an album that 99% of these artists would make, because they know that 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a hard time selling that. But Kendrick made it because it was true to himself. And so for him to have an entire career of being true to himself and being true to his artistry, and on top of that, not being the nerd that y'all think he is, not being this square guy that's not about that life, and like for him to not glorify that. But the funny thing is, he's been saying that the whole time. He's been saying that that's the funny part. Like, he's been saying, he's not saying that, like, he don't say it the same way G.I. said or the way other so-called gangster rappers say it, but he's been telling y'all that the whole time. Like, nigga, I'm really about that. And that's what's funny about it.
I actually appreciate you letting him do it that way, because, you know, to touch on the subject what you said about Wood Kid, man, get a chance. Game has a lot of resentment because he was someone who was in touch with his emotions, but it was perverted based off of what happened to him as a child and the things that he went through. Could have been a good kid, but was in a mad city. Didn't work out that way. So when Kendrick can get in touch with his emotions, because they only try to say that Drake only gets in touch with his emotions. Kendrick is very emotionally intuitive in his music. He shows his compassion through his music, and when you think about that, you know, that's something that people tend to ridicule. Like, look, I get what he was trying to do with Kodak Black. To me, you know, Kodak Black isn't my cup of tea. Yeah, I have disagreements with that, but even with that, Kendrick tries to talk about the bad things that have turned people into spoiled milk, whether they're a rapper, whether they're a female MC, or just living in the neighborhood, everyday people. He tends to try to say whether I agree with the outcome or not. I'm just trying to say this is how this person went from A to B. Philly was who got killed in what was his name again?
P&B Rock.
P&B Rock, you know, what's so dangerous about this culture. P&B Rock may have done a lot of bad things in the past, but it's really fucked up that the moment his true conscience come out, he repaired his relationship with his woman. He's being a good father to his kids. And in that moment, his life is taken away. When we saw the change in Nipsey, he decided, no, you know, I want to reveal my intelligence. You know, I did the other thing, yeah, I got my money, you know, I'm part of the rolling 60s, but, you know, I'm going to be out here, look out for the kids. We need to get into tech, we need to buy real estate. Then he ends up getting killed. Like, these are the important things that people don't take into consideration, that they don't understand. We do live in a malicious state to a degree. You literally have child soldiers, and people are not talking about that. Again, the Game and Nipsey were born in an environment where they didn't have a choice. Nipsey, of course, tried to, you know, protect the children, you know, and do his other thing, came with a different direction. But the whole point is, these people are living in neighborhoods where nobody is protecting them. They get forced into a game, and then people are surprised with the outcome. And for, you know, like you said, for Kendrick to do that in a beautiful way is very important. Even the Black Boy Fly. I mean, we had in Cali, there was I can't remember his name right now, but he was a brilliant jazz musician. He was at a corner store, and he got popped. So, you know, it even happens to the kids who try to remain good, try to dodge the gangs and all that. They even, unfortunately, get caught up in the crosshairs.
Yeah, and this is look, and player man, I'm going to let you continue to do your thing. I do want to make this statement. I look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't do well with malicious squares. They're not my cup of tea. Like I said, shouts out to the wonderful sister Ellie. But if we're not joking and you're showing hostility through an app, for me personally, I don't like. I'm not that Spanish to me before. Where the case is, I don't understand what the issue is. The reason why I'm bringing that up, it's Drake suffers from the same issues that DJ Academic suffered from when he was just erroneously covering at nauseam of that nature. Now, around this time, you had Kendrick Lamar doing a deal with Good Kid, Mad City, and then he did what he did with the likes of To Pimp a Butterfly. At the time when those albums dropped, I said, hey man, this is the guy right here. Between him and Big Crit, those are the two guys I was listening to, right? Before that, Section 80 with tracks like High Power, produced by J. Cole, or if you move before that album, you have Overly Dedicated. I've always said the way Kendrick Lamar as an artist packages his bodies of work, he does remind me of Marvin Gaye. What's going on? Exactly. There's again that is advertising all this part, especially concerning these black men. This rap music now see, of course, with the women as well. About a good 80% to 90% of a lot of the mainstream said art. It's propaganda to dehumanize the opinion, even by those individuals that come from these areas, that suffer from PTSD and complex versions of PTSD. You know, maybe you weren't banking, but if you grew up and you had babies that had to hear gunshots a few streets down, next door, somebody said, hold your brother's hand, hold your little sister's hand. I mean, you have people that grow up in neighborhoods where, you know, they may be approaching their 17th birthday, and then somebody in the community is talking about, yo, did you hear that somebody got killed when they turned 17? These things in these areas contributed to PTSD. The reason why I say what I said and I made my statement concerning Lupe Fiasco, and clearly he listens, and I guess he understands how we speak, so he was clearly trying to rope us off in the conversation. But it would literally be no different than at the time when they were denigrating the city of Chicago, and then that man dropped Food and Liquor. And this is where I say we get into, Beamer introduced me to this term, but this is when we get into spaces of militia squares. We do have a lot of militia squares that are running around, white militia squares. We got a lot of black militia squares running around. They're all in the red pill. They all in there talking about women. They're all in here talking about who ain't real. They're covering street politics. They're egging on street beef with people that have PTSD concerning violence. Ladies and gentlemen, there's some people you simply just can't yell at based on the level of trauma they go through. Yep. What I'm saying here is that, to your point, Lupe Fiasco has spent the better part. I know they say he's talking about he's Dr. Wasalo Jacob, and I know he's about to go on his ego shit too right now because he's feeling some type of way. Like I said, where my ego placements literally is, and Sin knows me, if I'm interested. Right now, I'm going to be honest with you. Moving on, be honest, I'm largely disinterested in Lupe Fiasco. Yeah. Now, what I'm making a statement, though, I am interested in the greater conversation that we'll continue to have along with Sincere Ignorance and be more and wonderful people
This
think tank.
hurts.
I will say
Let's
that.
go. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All that support is love.
Food and liquor to just cool. Lupe, much like what we saw with the works of Chadwick Boseman and Ryan Coogler, and even what Michael B. Jordan.
You are right on the same wavelength. I was just about to say they're like Ryan Coogler, how they paint black people, Kendrick and Lupe. But go ahead.
Yes. So just in the same vein that we saw with Ryan Coogler when he decided to cover Fruitvale Station, and he decided to humanize. I believe it was Oscar Grant at the time, correct?
Oscar Grant, yeah.
Yeah, he decided to humanize Oscar Grant. Food and Liquor was humanizing the black inner city experience.
Yeah.
Drake music is dehumanizing to black folk at this stage in his career. I'm not talking about when he was singing "We Almost Home" and "Money, Cars, and Things."
Ashton Martin, no, those perfectly fine.
Right. What I'm saying is, ever since he's been on his mob ties to it, that type of conversation,
love you guys.
not about our nigga MC.